Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 72 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Today we're talking about communication, of course, this whole month, and body language. We're going to talk about the 5 key components of body language and 7 ways that you can improve your body language to get the results you want in any type of communication, in either your personal or professional life, or both. Usually we want to positively impact our communication skills in every area and aspect of our life because they improve our relationships. They help us be more relatable. They show how confident we are in different situations, which leads to other results and things that we want to create in our life. So what are the 5 main components of body language? And there's lots of nuances to these, but I'm just going to run through them really quickly. First one, of course, is facial expressions. And are you often aware of what your face is even showing? I know I'm really guilty of this. Everything I'm feeling, for the most part, shows on my face. So I need to do some more work and practice to be a little more neutral in different situations. But I get this a lot. You know, I might not say a word or I might smile, and everybody's like, yeah, we know exactly how you're feeling and what you're thinking about this idea because it shows on your face even if you're not sure or aware that it shows on your face. So facial expressions, smiling, of course, shows interest and that you're a positive person, or you're at least open to what's being discussed. Eyebrows, you know, you can raise our eyebrows if we're curious. We can furrow our eyebrows if we're upset or angry or mad or something. And we might not even be aware of it because our eyebrows will subtly move without us being aware of it. Eye contact is another one for facial expressions. And our eye contact is huge, especially if you're in a difficult or challenging conversation or situation. If you're in a job interview, you just want to look away. You don't want to look at the interview, but it's imperative that you make eye contact, not stare them down the eyes and freak them out and think you're crazy, but confidently look in someone's eyes, especially when you're answering a question. Now, it's okay to look away every, 5 or 3 to 5 seconds. Otherwise, they'll think you're a creeper, and nobody wants to come off as a creeper in their body language or usually in their communication at all. Secondly, posture is a huge one for indicating and sending out a message whether we're aware of it or not. Are we sitting upright, having an upright, attentive posture? That shows interest. Are we slouching? If you're slouching and looking down, you're probably not very interested, or you're exhausted or hungover or some other reason. But if you're slouching, chances are you either are bored, not interested, or again, maybe you have another problem or situation going on. But it really means that you're probably not paying attention, and depending on the situation, that might be critical to the conversation. Leaning in indicates interest, indicates that you're paying attention and focus, and in the present moment, actually engaging with the person you're communicating with. Third, hand gestures. I do like hand gestures. Open palms mean and signify honesty, openness, and willingness to share and communicate. Pointing, on the other hand, and this one I get from my mom. My mom is a pointer, and my youngest sister hates it, which is really funny to be involved in those conversations. Because I don't even ever think about pointing much. I don't think I point very much, but I do use a lot of hand gestures. So let me know if they're a little bit over the top sometimes. Fourth is body orientation. How is your body oriented? Are you facing away or toward the person speaking? I used to watch this in department head meetings. I love department head meetings. I know that's a crazy secret, but I loved watching people in our department head meetings. And I wish I would have had a mirror so I could watch myself, because I'm sure I gave a whole lot away that I didn't necessarily mean to give away as well. But if we're facing the person that's leading the meeting or the person that's speaking, we're paying attention. If we're looking down and writing in our notebook and doing things and not really paying attention, that shows too. That shows lack of interest. And it shows, whether we're sincere or attentive or not if we're facing the person. Turning away or crossing our arm. If you look away and cross your arms, guess what? You're not paying attention, or you don't like what you're hearing. Or it often leads to being defensive, etc. Handshakes, again, are another very important hand gesture. We judge people by their handshakes. And we've all shaken hands with someone. They have a nice, firm handshake. And to me, that conveys confidence. And to most people, it conveys confidence. And then there's other people that we think are so awesome and so confident, and they shake your hand, and they got this wimpy little wet noodle limp handshake. And you're like, wow. It just doesn't seem to fit with the person and their personality. So we want to be, the main thing about body language to me, my understanding, and I'm not a body language expert, is we want to be congruent. We want to be in alignment with the message that we want to convey. Our intention, we talked about that yesterday. And fifth, the last one is Proxemics. I think that's how you pronounce it. But that is the study and the science of personal space. And there's different levels of personal space. And these are just guidelines, right? They're not cut in stone, but usually intimate space is 0 to 18 inches, right? That's, reserved for close relationships. Personal space is considered 18 inches to 4 feet. So comfortable for friendly conversations, 18 inches to 4 feet away, right? Social space is considered 4 to 12 feet, right? It's appropriate for professional interactions and things. You ought not be 12 inches from someone's face in a professional setting unless there's other reasons or other things going on. And public space is considered 12 feet. It's used for public speaking, professional speaking, and for presentations and things, right? And then we've got Zoom and social media now, so, I might be 18 inches from my camera, but I'm, probably how many feet away from people in reality. So those are the 5 key components of body language. And of course, like I said, there's nuances and studies and literally hundreds of books written on this topic. So if you need more and want more, just Google it, get an audiobook or something and listen to while you're exercising, but find some way to learn more about body language, especially if you've got an area that is a little iffy. Like, I know my facial expressions are a little iffy. I know they show up in crazy different ways, so I might be trying to be attentive, but I'm really bored, and I want you to hurry up and get to the point. I know that's really bad, but I definitely am that way. That's the type of communicator I am. So what are 7 steps and 7 things that we can do to improve our body language? Super easy things. Number 1, cultivate awareness. Become aware of areas that you're strong in, areas that you're not strong in. I'm pretty good at paying attention to people when they're talking to me, at least one-on-one. Groups, it's a little harder, depending on the nature of the group and the dynamics of that group. Maintain an open and confident posture, right? Posture is important. People, and then again, there's varying degrees and reasons for this. I know a lot of people that have chronic pain, and it is very challenging for them to maintain an open, alert, upright posture. Why? Because they literally have physical challenges that make it painful for them to sit in a situation, or sit in different environments. So we can't always judge immediately, but we can always ask questions, right? We can ask questions to clarify whether they're with us or not, if that makes sense. So we want to maintain an open and confident body posture. Third, we want to use eye contact wisely. Again, don't stare somebody down and be intimidating. Just be yourself and be interested and use normal amounts of eye contact. Control your facial expressions. Again, here's one where from a self-awareness standpoint, I know I need to work on that one. But our facial expressions, again, even if we're not speaking, even if I'm not talking, you know what I'm thinking by what you're saying because it shows on my face. Mirror others for connection. I will say this is an incredibly powerful strategy when used correctly. And if you catch somebody mirroring you, it's kind of offensive. You know that they're trying to connect with you, but sometimes you're just like, oh, stop already. Now, when we're engaged in a conversation that is really compelling to us, we will automatically naturally start mirroring the other person. It's kind of like a human response, at least in my experience. But when it's used too much and it's too fake, people can see that and feel that, and it comes off as insecure or insincere and insecure, right? Because the reason you're mirroring, if you're not super engaged in the conversation, is fake, usually, or not 100% honest. I use gestures to reinforce your words. We want to use hand gestures and things. One I do a lot is we're going to fill the gap between here, where we are and where we want to be, right? That's just a hand gesture that reinforces what I'm talking about. Finally, respect people's personal space. I've worked with people that don't have that. I've worked with people that do. I've been in organizations where people understand boundaries and personal space, and I've been in organizations where people don't. And we know the difference. we always have to stand up for and do and say what feels right for us. If somebody is in your personal bubble and you don't like it, it's up to you to let them know, hey, I don't know exactly how to bring this up, but you are way too close to me right now. Could you please take one step back and we'll talk about this, right? Especially when people are angry or upset or super emotional, I will stop the conversation and say, okay, we need to take a deep breath and take a step back from this. And I need you to literally take a step back. I worked in a lot of organizations where it was predominantly men, and in some really strong union situations. I worked for one company that we had 7 or 8 unions in that facility. And so, and I was the only woman. And you can imagine, sometimes they'd come in boiling because I did something wrong or something they didn't like. And they'd like get in my face and scream at me. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work for me. Mr. Union Rep, you need to please take 3 steps back, or yell at me from the door, but don't yell in my face. Not appropriate. All right. So our action item today is to pay attention to our body language, pay attention to our posture, pay attention to our energy, pay attention to our body orientation, pay attention to our blinking and our eye contact, pay attention to, are we paying attention when we're communicating with other people? And what are our hands doing? What is our body doing? What direction are we facing? Are we really there, present in the moment? Or are we off in la la land thinking about all the other things we have to do today? It's always a choice, but that's our topic for today. So share in the comments below one area of body language that you practice today, right? I'm going to practice numbing down my facial expressions. All right. Have an awesome day. If I can help you, ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.